What's going on, everybody? My headset's on. We're good to go. We are good to go. Alright, I'm going to work on that transitioning from sound to the podcast so it sounds smoother. Alright, so hey, my name is Josh. I'm with Hallmark Highlights Podcasts. We're bringing you podcasts we're bringing you movie reviews every week to, for your enjoyment and satisfaction. Maybe learn a few things. I like to talk about the movies and a few things. One, how to bring them into reality base, a little, maybe some facts about them. Just all around good stuff. Just having a good time for the next, a few minutes or so. The thing that I like, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I think that what I like is that a podcast that isn't so drawn out. Because after a while, you start losing your attention span and kind of start tuning stuff out, and that's no fun. I want you to be able to enjoy everything that we're talking about here today and every other week. This is the first official podcast. The movie today is going to be called, if you see in the background, it is called Autumn in the Vineyard. And the reason why I chose this one is a few things. One is that it's the first one that's ever been in a trilogy. There's Autumn in the Vineyard. There's, I believe it's called Valentine's in the Vineyard. And also, the other one was Summertime in the Vineyard. Summer in the Vineyard, I think. Yeah, Summer in the Vineyard is the main thing. Both of them star Rachel Lee Cook and Brendan Penny. I know probably a lot of you have heard of Rachel Lee Cook. I'm sure a majority of you have heard of Brendan Penny. They're both pretty well-known actors in the field. This is a time, I think this is back like 2016, I believe this movie was out. Yeah. And I'll be a few weeks from now, I'll go into a few episodes about, I call them the era of Hallmark movies that talk about the different types of movies. And this one brought out when like they're finally making their own name for themselves. They have their own crew of people that are doing movies. There's a grip of them that are just kind of like circulating through between autumn and then especially the main point of Hallmark is Christmas time. They're even like having it now. I think the last couple of years they've been doing Christmas in July. So you watch new Christmas movies in July. I have a hard time doing that because I'm out doing stuff and like movies aren't really my thing in the summer. But I'll like take a peek at Hallmark and see what's going on. So this one is a pretty typical movie about how Hallmark movies work and how they've always had this formula of how the movie goes. There's a guy and a girl. This one girl is Frankie Baldwin, played by Rachel Lee Cook, and the other one is Brendan Penny as Nate DeLuca. And they're two families. I believe it's in the California area because it's really nice. There's like a bunch of vineyards everywhere, and there's a few places that do have this, but generally speaking, California is the wine country, and multiple wine countries, and probably the only state that would allow family feuds with wine. So they there's the Baldwins and then the DeLucas. They've been feuding for generations. Who has the better wine? who produces the best produce at the harvest festivals and all that stuff. And the dad is played by I think his name is John Baldwin. I don't know the actor's name, but like he's like right now the dad of the Baldwin Baldwin Farm, the Vineyard, and he's kind of feeling like it's old times like it's time to pass the torch, but he doesn't necessarily feel like right now is the time for Frankie to take it over. So he hires a farmhand to work on it. Well, this kind of sets Frankie off to being off on her little tangents that her family doesn't appreciate her work effort, and then she's going crazy. She's like, well, I'll do my own thing. I'm gonna buy the Sorrento winery. They're in the same town. And sure enough, their rivalry, the Baldwins, they have a vineyard. They do the same thing. They make great wines. The Nate, so he just got done getting his doctors, and somehow the paperwork gets all confused, and they both buy the same winery. What's going to happen? How is this possible? Weird. How are they going to figure this out? So they both live together. They used to, and on the side note, they used to date way back in the day. They used to be boyfriend girlfriend, and they're preparing everything. So, they're kind of like working out the kinks with living with each other, kind of like relearning each other, figuring out what makes each other tick, all that good stuff. But overall, they're trying to prepare the best wine for the best wine competition in the Autumn Harvest Festival. So, what do? They both have a competition with each other on who can make the best wine, and the winner will then take the farm, and the other one can either go back to the family, or in this case, like Nate said, that he was going to just practice his doctor. And do that, and then they end up, kind of like slowly rekindling things, working it out, and rivalry is kind of dimming down. And then they start understanding each other. They start helping each other out, especially when the Baldwin's family farm catch on fire. It happens to be a forest fire, so it's probably about this time of year. I'm thinking about September. Everything's dry and crispy and stuff like that, and everything burns up at his farm. So he's in cahoots. So they're like, well, let's work together and let's rebuild the Baldwin farms with the Sorrento winery. So Frankie wins the competition, and Nate donates a lot to help out with the farm to get it back together, get everything going. Boom, and then Frankie and the Baldwins kind of realized that the DeLuca family isn't so bad after all, and they ended up like all helping each other out. The mom and the dad are like, they're both, I think they're widowed, and they end up like, I think they're connecting. They kind of like hinted at that, and of course Frankie and Nate get together, and they make a great deal with each other. They have they end up starting a great life with each other, and like the important thing is that they both learn about how family legacies can work together, and also bringing out tradition of the winemaking business. That's the movie in a nutshell. Couple of facts is that there's actually like, this was inspired by a series by an author named Marina Aldair, as it's called the Selena Vineyard series books is what this is on, and I already told you about the sequels, and so that's kind of like all of it in a nutshell. And yeah.
What's going on, everybody? My headset's on.
Alright. So anyways, that kind of like wraps up my whole the whole deal with my first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it and everything, and hope you guys really like the deal. And yeah, I'm gonna drop out really quick with a little bit more music. No, just kidding. Sorry, that was advertisement. I gotta work on that part too. Anyways, you guys, hope you guys have a great day, and we'll talk to you all later.